Here at the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce, of course, we're all about all the members, but occasionally we get to bring someone in the studio today that's not just a member with the Chamber, they are absolutely a partner. The Arlington Independent School District is a major partner with the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce. We're so proud of the relationship with the Arlington Independent School District and all the different things that we get to do together. The school district, of course, is led by this man right here, Dr. Matt Smith. Dr. Smith, good to see you.
Thank you. Glad to be here, Brian.
Well, it's good to have you here. You know, I always get a kick out of talking to you, but I'm going to back up just a second. How long have you been on board now?
2.5 years now.
2.5 years.
Yes.
You're a crusty veteran here in Arlington.
It feels like 20 some days, but it's in a good way, I promise.
But every day's a new day. There's always something going on.
That's one of the benefits of my job. I love the excitement because we get to do great things for kids every day. Sometimes there's some curveballs that are thrown at us, but I enjoy it.
Well, and overall, it all works out rather well. Now, we'll talk about, let's get this out of the way because it's topical. We just had a big bond package election. That's not the right
Election, yes.
And tell me your assessment on that. We were voting for 3 of them, right?
We had 3 propositions on the ballot, and we're really thankful for our voters that went out and supported Prop A and Prop B. Prop A was really about general maintenance and improvements for our facilities across the district, some new buildings to replace old aging buildings, and then some major repairs that need to happen in our school district. And then Prop B is really about instructional technology, how we have devices that we can actually use for student learning and adult facilitation of that student learning in our system. Prop C didn't pass for us. It was really about a reinvestment in our athletic facilities.
Right.
We had some aging turf issues that we needed to address. The voters said, not right now. So we'll think about what comes forward in the future and go from there.
Well, I like that. It wasn't necessarily no, it was not right now.
That's right.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
But talking about the athletic facilities, we have, like just last year, we reaped the benefits of the 2019 bond package. You had new stadium open.
That's right.
Right.
You know, Glassby Field is open down at Martin High School.
Right.
It's a beautiful facility, and that's thanks to the voter support from 2019. We currently have Cravens Field and Wildwood Field both under construction right now from that 2019 bond as well. So we'll see those facilities open up in the future, and you can see them being redone right now if you drive by them.
Is it fun for you because you weren't here in 2019? But now you get to see that. But you went through I guess this was your first bond package, wasn't it?
This is my first bond package in Arlington ISD, and it's been great to see. You know, there's been great leadership for a long time, from the board level and superintendent level and administrative team, to get us to the point where in 2019 a community investment could be as large as it was in our school district. It benefits our students, and the benefit that I get to have is when we opened up Glassby Field and I get to see our students out there for the first night, opening night, using that field and see all the things that are happening on it and the benefits it has for kids. That is pretty special.
Yeah, and I'm going to get this out there too, because people talk about athletics, but if you take that field, it's not just the teams that are out there. It's the drill teams, it's the cheerleaders, it's the bands. I mean, it impacts a lot of students in a lot of ways.
For anyone that ever has a question about how many people it actually impacts, if you go to a home football game on a Friday night, you think you're going for football, but you see how many kids are involved in that, and then you multiply it by all the other sports and activities that are there on a regular basis, and you realize you're impacting thousands of kids by doing that.
Well, and then you can also take it out just a little bit further by adding in the families and the friends that are there with big old smiles on their faces.
That's right.
Watching that's my daughter cheering right there. That's my son on the tuba.
That's right.
It adds to everything.
It adds to community, and I think that's one of the strengths of this city and of this school district. It's about building community, and those facilities help us do that.
Yeah, you probably just touched on something I was going to ask you regarding the student experience with AISD. Yeah. I know that's a big deal that you push all the time, because I've heard you talk about it. So how is the student experience these days with our students?
You know, it's great. And we've spent some time this last year actually studying what students are saying, what parents are saying, and what we really want for our kids moving forward. Ultimately, kids want to feel valued and part of something big. They want to be seen in our schools and have options to be in different clubs and activities. And that's another one of the things that benefits our school district, is when you have facilities that allow you to be able to have more options and offerings for kids. It gets them connected into something great. And we all remember those memories from when we were in school.
Well, and I was in school here, AISD.
That's
very
right.
proud of that.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to talk about State of the District here later on, because that was such a fabulous event. But I want to back up. You mentioned technology. It's interesting how technology continues to change, and you guys are right there with it. with this virtual learning program to allow people different ways to learn to help everybody talk about that.
That's right. A recent legislative change happened in the recent legislative session that allows us to explore virtual learning in school districts more. And what we know is this: not everybody learns the same way, and not everybody is going face to face in our colleges and universities right now. Let's face it, a lot of things have shifted to online. Public schools have been a little slow to that game, but we have some options to explore those things now. So we're really taking a look at what we can offer some of our kids and what might be beneficial for their learning. We know that family schedules and things are different than they used to be, and we're trying to create something that could be a little bit more flexible and more, I guess the right words are, on demand for some of our families in the learning experience. And we're excited to start to get that rolling out.
Now, I'm guessing, I mean, obviously you've been now with AISD for 3.5 years.
2.5.
2.5 years, but this isn't your first role through education, but you have like any profession, I'm seeing there's a network of you all over the place. Are you able to take those relationships and talk to people to see what they're doing and get some ideas of what we could incorporate?
Yeah, earlier this spring, got to sit down with a number of superintendents, and we talked specifically about virtual learning and how it's transforming some of the offerings that we have to think about for our students. I think that we have a mindset issue if we think about it as being a barrier, right, or something that's going to be a negative for us. If you think about it as an opportunity to, again, ask ourselves, what's the student experience need to look like for the future, and does virtual learning fit into that? And then create something exceptional for our kids. That's going to be something great. Sharing those ideas across school districts just helps us all be better in our public schools.
Keep the kids in public school.
That's right.
That's important for a variety of reasons.
Yes.
But even more so, not just in the school, but engaged in the school.
Yeah, the more we can create that engagement of our families, again, going back to that word community you said a few minutes ago, if our families and students are connected in the city of Arlington to Arlington ISD, that helps build community. So whatever the public is needing from our school system, we want to continually explore that and offer that.
Okay, I touched on this earlier. I'm going to get into it. The relationship between the AISD and the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce has been going on for a long time.
Yes, sir.
And you've been through a couple of our annual State of the District luncheons, but this year's was a little bit different. You changed everything on it. Touch on that. First of all, what you did this year, but why you went the way you went.
Yeah, one of the things that we really wanted to do is bring people inside schools. We know that if I give an open invitation and say, chamber members, if you want to come visit a school, we don't get many that actually show up for it. Right. So I wanted to bring school to them. And so we spent some time brainstorming in early fall, met with Michael and said, hey, we have this wild idea we want to try. And thanks to the chamber, they were willing to say, okay, let's give it a try. And in essence, what we want to do is want to give the microphone to kids and let the students start doing some talking about what they are learning, because sometimes we have people in our community that don't really know what's going on in schools and they only hear the rumors. So if you let the kids talk about what they're learning and then actually show the public what they're learning, most people leave that conversation and go, oh my goodness, this wasn't the way school was when I was in school. So it was, we've gotten a lot of great feedback. We're excited about that. We're obviously going to build on it and hopefully be better for the future even. But it was a great experience.
I thought it was just fascinating to walk around. We'll start from the get-go. We had tables, but each table had two students to take you around, and you got a class schedule. The bells are ringing. You got things to do. But to walk outside and see the different class, who knew I could learn how to arrange flowers?
That's right.
Or work on drones or repair musical instruments. I didn't have a clue. I'm pretty involved. I don't have any kids. Maybe that's why. But I was just amazed. It's opportunities.
It's pretty neat when you see that we've got our own robo-dog there.
Yep.
And we've got students programming the robot right there. And you and I talk about what we did in some of our schooling experiences. We're building birdhouses and bear shells and things like that. But we have opportunities for kids to actually walk out of there and become certified phlebotomists by the time they leave Arlington ISD and go straight to work and continue their education through TCC or UTA and continue to get their degree. But we're able to do some things that are just exceptional for our kids right now. And it was great showing that.
Yeah, the workforce obviously is such an important component of any community, Arlington being no exception. But as those seeds are planted through the public school system with the AISD, and yeah, we'd love for them to stay here with TCC and UTA and then stay here, because then the city's able to bring in businesses, go, we've got a workforce. Look at this. It starts at this age, and then now look out. It just all ties together.
And it's, we have great relationships with TCC and UTA. In fact, we meet on a pretty regular basis and talk about what does this partnership need to look like for the future? Because the more we can invest in opportunities for students and young people going through our educational systems to make it so they can have what they need here and they want to come back and live, work, and play in Arlington, it benefits us all. And so we're constantly pursuing that.
We're coming up here. I don't want to date the segment, but we're coming up at the end of the school year. Yes, sir. Now, are you able to get around to different schools and observe graduations and ceremonies and all the stuff?
We hold all of our graduations together, so I get to see every graduation. I get to see every graduate cross the stage in Arlington ISD, which it's a blessing, honestly, because you get to see from the first day of school at the beginning of a school year. I go visit our schools and I see our kids that are coming in excited at the kindergarten level, ready to learn and ready to grow. And then you get to see the end product of where they're actually getting that diploma and crossing the stage. And it's pretty, it's what we live for as educators, honestly. We live to see that growth, the maturity, and honestly, the ability for them to see that diploma and say, I can take this next step and I'm proud of the work that I've done. That's what's special about being an educator.
You know, and obviously you're a very busy guy, doctor, but I hope that you have an opportunity to roll through field day at a Butler Elementary just to watch those kids too.
That is, when you go to an elementary field day, it is excitement. I guarantee you. And competition is alive and well. I can promise you that.
Super. Well, competition is alive and well, but it's all about studies,
Yeah.
and it's all about the education itself. But everything is a part of the education. Our athletics is a part of the education. Playing the band, playing Chinese checkers or recess is a part of the education. You develop those skills, and you and your staff have done a tremendous job. We're continuing that. And again, I love the way you showed it off this year at the State of the District.
Thank you so much. We're glad to be a part of such a great community and a good partner with the chamber. It's been a really beneficial partnership for us. We're excited for the future.
Well, we're excited for the future as well, and the continuation of a long-time relationship between the AISD and the Great Arlington Chamber. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks, Bryan.
Appreciate it. Hey, folks, thank you for being with us today as too. We always appreciate you being here. And everybody knows that together we succeed, but maybe nobody knows it better than the AISD and the Chamber. Thanks for being with us. We'll catch you next time.